Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's Saturday, Slashback Saturday. This is the segment created by my buddy, Joe the Horror Man, where he picks a theme, and we watch a slasher movie based on that theme and do a review. Now, this week is leftovers, of course. We all have leftovers from Thanksgiving. Well, some of us do anyway. Not so much me, but that's okay. Now, that is, of course, to pick something that you already had that would fit another category for this year. And this week, I picked, pardon for the little pieces of paper, but I don't feel like getting a copyright strike or a nudity strike or whatever. This week, I picked The Strange Vice of Mrs. Wardh. Now, The Strange Vice of Mrs. Wardh is a 1971 film which runs approximately 81 minutes and is directed by Sergio Martino. Now, he was responsible for Hands of Steel, Screamers, and Slave of the Cannibal God. Now, this stars George Hilton as George Coro. Unfortunately, he passed away on July the 28th, 2019, at the age of 85. He was in Fireworks, College, and Taxi Girl. Ah, yes, this also stars Edwidge Fenech as Julie Wardh. She was in Hostel Part 2, The Case of the Bloody Iris, and Phantom of Death, among others. This also stars Conchita Arioldi as Carol Brandt. She was mostly known as a producer, but she did star in a few things. She was in Dear Diary, Sweet Dreams, and The Cousin. Now I'll turn this around back, and once again, pardon for the pieces of paper, but there is nudity. If you guys are familiar with Shameless Entertainment, this of course was sent to me by my good buddy Carlos from Eastwood for Life fan. Shameless is pretty much shameless. They have a lot of nudity on their covers. A lot of people can't show Cemetery Man, which is also known as Della Morte Della More. And I was looking over their website, and just about all of them have nudity on the cover. But yeah. Anyway. Now, this is also known as Next, which is the reversible artwork, which also has nudity. Next Victim, and Blade of the Ripper. Now, a thing that I thought was really interesting about this film is, I'll get into the story a little bit later, but the lead girl, Edwidge Fenech, she gets flowers from this admirer all the time, which it says certain things like "your heart is mine," so on and so forth. But one of the notes that the person writes, and people who are familiar with giallos will probably figure this one out, is your vice is a locked door and only I have the key. Something like that. And that is actually the name of another giallo directed by Sergio Martino, starring Edwidge Fenech. I thought that maybe it was just a different name for the film, but no, it's not. They just use it in this film, which I thought was pretty neat, actually. But anyway, this is one I'm going to have to be kind of vague about because this movie has twists and turns like you wouldn't believe. Okay, this is basically about Julie, which is our main character, which is absolutely gorgeous. She is one of the prettiest women I've ever seen in my life. Now, she is coming back. She had this lover who treated her badly. And I actually can say this without really ruining much of anything. The strange vice of Mrs. Wardh. Well, what is that vice? Well, her vice is she's both repulsed and turned on by blood. So that is her vice. So she was really treated badly by a former lover named John. And she is married now to a diplomat. And meanwhile, there is a killer, typical Giallo style, with a dark coat, black gloves, so on and so forth, that is slashing up women who are, how do I put it, promiscuous. Yeah. Like one of them is a prostitute, the other one is a girl who basically admits she's a whore, but yeah, so on and so forth. And that's pretty much all I can get into with the story, other than the fact that Julia, the main character, falls for some other guy named George while she's married to this diplomat. I really can't say much more because there are twists and turns on top of twists and turns. This is considered to be one of the very best giallos out there. And at first I was kind of confused by that because it seemed a little slow in the beginning. But it just, whoever constructed this giallo did a fantastic job. Because as I said, when you think you know what's going on, it throws you a curveball. Then when you think you know what's going on with there, it throws you another curveball, and so on and so forth. Basically, at the end of the movie, you're like, huh, okay, I guess that makes sense. So, I did really enjoy it, and I am a big fan of her. Yeah, I've seen a few of the other things she was in, and I'm gonna have to get the rest of them as well because she's fantastic. She's just a fantastic actress. And I actually didn't know that she was in Hostel 2 up until the last review I did. So she's still very much alive, and she's still very beautiful for her age. So, yeah. Don't forget to see what Joe picked and what our theme is for next week because time is running short on Slashback. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace. Oh, you know what, guys? I didn't tell you how this was leftovers. This fits so many categories, it's not even funny. And when I sat down, I figured out like 3 or 4 of them, and I know that there's more, but I just stopped at that point. For this year, this fits Italian slashers. For last year, it's giallos. Last year, it's a birth date, something that was, because this is a 1971 film and I was born in 1971, and it fits so many more than that. So that's the leftovers. I meant to say that, yeah. And if you like what you see in here, blah, 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 blah. Till next time, peace.